Hello, that's my camera mic.
Hello, hello. Okay, now you can hear me. That's like I don't understand why. I really don't understand why my mic keeps doing that to me. Okay, so we can take a gander at the having some for you guys. Hold it up. Yeah, and yeah, okay. So let's get into the games again. Sorry for the delay. Just wanted to make sure for that. Okay, so what is the biggest news that I missed out on? So when you go to the rankings or the standings, um, one thing I said consistently over the course of the covering this is that the person I expect to win this, what's his name, Sam Amin, and what I said was the best way by which Amin can confirm that he's going to win is if he defeats Belal, and he actually defeated Belal in round six. So yeah, at this point, it just jumps from like 70% to like 100%. Of course, if we are wrong, we are wrong. But anybody will be happy to see someone else win. But as always, we expect Basem to. Hmm. Okay, so in this game, changed my whole setup. So it's like I'm not even used to where things are now. So give me a little bit of a break in case. We have e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4. So we have an Italian asymmetrical four knights. Okay, we have the c3 variation, which is one of the few variations I learned. There was a game by Kasparov. Um, Point is you get the rook here, transfer the knight over to this square, and you have a very nice possible attack. There are many ways you can attack here. You could actually go this way, you go through the center, or you could go through the queen side. Wherever you choose to attack, that is your business. Let's keep going. Knight to f6, e3, a6. A6 is to prevent you from going a4, e5, right? So there's no consequence with this move. Um, Castle kingside, e6, a4, a7, b4. Yeah, like I said. So you can't go for this idea. Go for like a queenside aggression or a queenside idea. All this is completely fine. I'm more used to seeing this idea, so we're going to be learning together. We're going to be learning together. Hmm. Knight b to d7, b to d2. Sorry, knight to g6, d4. So we are going for a central approach. This is very interesting. He plays the knight here. Again, he's well covered. The knight here defends this, but it's like it blocks the pawn. It's like, why would you just do that, right? The queen was doing the job. I think his point is if he, for example, decided to like go in, probably that's what he's thinking about, and to prevent himself from allowing weaknesses in his position. That's why he. I don't know if that's exactly it, but it's a plausibility. Hmm. Castle's kingside, rook to d4. Okay, sorry, rook to e1. Finally, we have the captures, and we have very strong a very strong central pawn structure. Hmm. This idea still exists, especially now that the rook can remaneuver the knight if you do. So he's waiting for something. So maybe we are going to see something like h3 at this point. If that's what he wants to, or just push here, right? So we have d5, takes, knight takes. Now the queen goes into b3. So completely abandoning that whole idea. His opponent actually makes the decision for him and tries to create this break in the center to kind of destroy his very. He takes d5, knight takes d5, queen b3, bishop to e6, and now knight to e4. Nice, nice. So I just like white here. White is just optically better. Could be wrong, but just seems to. That we black can play. So now therefore it does open this, but I mean white may not even bother about this bishop and just simply go, right? Because you take, I take, and now there's ideas of pawn double here. Maybe that pawn is something you would have to think. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, right? Hmm. So knight to d4. What if we just take? Do we gain like a very strong center with this, or is this just drawn? Takes just drawn, right? Because this is an isolated. Okay, it's not an isolated pass pawn. Uh, it is an isolated queen's pawn. So the ideal thing with these positions is that you want, okay, right, this is hanging. I was looking at this, and this is sort of like the way you want to play against this pawn. So this would be good for black. That's kind of like what I'm thinking about here.
I don't know.
Hello, hello. Let's try it again. I don't know what's going on. Why it keeps disconnecting. Sorry about that. If you can't hear me, I don't know. Like I said, I changed my setup recently, so my mic is messing with me. But let's see. I'll keep trying. Just let me know in the chat whenever my mic is connected. So we have this position. Um, I was looking at least you can still have the analysis. I think there are many ways that trades can go. I think the problem with this first is probably this, and not that, but d5, right? And you don't really want this as black, despite the fact that yes, the engine believes that like black is have to go back, or like where would you have to even where would you go that's even safest here? It's not looking like very good. You don't have to deal with it now. You simply just like hold the position, reroute your pieces, and create some targets. I don't know. Maybe it's rook a1 to c1 and then e1 to d1. All those are like plausible or possible. But we have knight takes f4. Nice. Yes, arguably is a right position, but I think that's. I mean, it's Bassem. That's my reason for everything. It's just Bassem. Let's move on. Right now, at this point, it's become an Egyptian. Just want to check something. We have another Sicilian. Uh, and so far they haven't made any move. Arba, welcome. Good to see you after a while. After my long, which was basically eventually the bishop is going to stop and still follow down and get a good position. All this is cool. I stream on Twitch. I'm both on at the same. I don't know much to say about this opening. We are still in the opening. The game is still taking. I just hope it's not like a board error, which is causing like nothing to. But it's been a while since they've been on this. Hillel, my mic is out. I don't know. Hello. I really don't know what. How about now? Is it okay now? I changed my setup. I didn't have enough time to test it out. Like the past few days, I haven't been able to. Well, of course, one of the reasons was I didn't know what was going. So I'm just going to switch to a different. That mic is. I'll switch to this one and see if this one works. I haven't edited this one yet, so it's going to sound awkward. But let me know if this is better. It randomly cuts off. Let me listen to it here. I'll switch to this one and see if this one works. Okay, so far it's okay. So far this with this mic it's okay. I'll have to fix it. Yeah, this doesn't cut. Okay, great. Don't worry. It's actually good that I'm testing it now. It's actually good news since I got a slightly better laptop. That's why you notice that I've left the engine on, right? I've left the engine on because with this laptop it's I mean slightly better or much better. I can't really tell yet, but it's a bit better than my previous laptop. So I haven't fully set up everything. I guess it's been a while I've streamed the tournament, and I'm sure like people are wondering where I am. At pen underscore Mason. Pen underscore Mason. So yeah, just give me a few streams. I'll keep practicing till I get the stream set up properly, and then I go from there. But right now, I can actually just use the. I'm so happy about it. I can just analyze, and you can see it's not lagging as much. Like in the previous laptop, I couldn't even leave the engine on, right? But here I can actually do that. Anyways, it's good. Or let me just keep it up for on. I just have to work some settings and then. Anyways, enough yapping. We have c4. We have an English e6. Probably going to get a Nimzo. Yep. Nimzo Indian. Queen to c2. Castles a3. Takes. Okay, I don't know if it's wrong to take with the pawn, but I prefer taking with the pawn. Right? I've not studied the lines properly yet. B6, bishop to g5, bishop to b7, f3, h3, and this f3 move is going to serve as a very nice escape square for the bishop if it needs it. The actual point of this is first of all to prevent the bishop. Yeah, I will. I definitely will. So this bishop is going to be a problem. This bishop is going to be a problem. So f3 helps hold that position. And also beyond that, it does prompt like a move like d4, right? So yeah, that's about it. That's the best I can say about this position. So white is going to have the spatial advantage, and black is going to try and counteract black in the center or elsewhere. If I were black, my main idea would be to weaken the strong structure that my opponent has. It's not going to be easy, but it may involve hey Alba, thanks for following on Twitch. Maybe you have to get a knife here. Like you want to find a way to really break apart these pawns. You really want to find a way to break apart these pawns. E3. Really? Okay, so that means he just wants to bring the bishop out. But why? I mean, I don't even think a sacrifice there would work. So why not just go d4? What's he worried about? Or he's worried about just blocking the bishop outright. That could also be it. So we are having e3, knight bd7, bishop to d3, like we were saying. E5. King is in the center. E5 is a very strong move for black. Black should be better here. Knight to e2. Good move. E4. Oh. Huh. E4 is an interesting move. Basically giving up a pawn to weaken your opponent's position. But again, the queen is pinned. Like the knight is pinned to the queen. Sorry, the knight is pinned. So like, how are you really going to take advantage of this line that you're opening? I don't see how you do that. Oh, I'm dumb. Oh, am I now seeing it? Does it work? This is the line I'm looking at. Takes, let's say, bishop takes, knight takes. Still doesn't work. I don't think this works. It looks like it works, but I'm not so sure. Because you take, I take. Knight takes, rook takes, right? Okay, it's completely fine. But then you leave white with this, and I mean, at this point I can just castle. So even if you try and like you attempt doing something like this, I could just even possibly play this, and I'm completely fine. So, whoa, those are some thick clouds. Those are some very thick clouds. It might rain. If it rains, the light may go off. If the light goes off, just know that's why. If the stream goes off, just know that's because it started raining and then we got distracted. Yes, they did. And Bella Chance, yes. Let's see, Bella Chance, Bellacino, something like that. They did play, but Basem won. Unfortunately, Basem won. I mean, unfortunately, because we all felt like if Bilal can't beat Basem, then Basem is just the clear winner. So for Basem to beat Bilal, it's completely over. We don't expect him to lose. And he's been playing strong people, right? Basem has been playing very strong people. It's going to get to the point he's just going to play the lower rated players at the end of the tournament, right? It's Swiss, right? You're supposed to play the strong players, but eventually he's going to beat them all, and then he's just going to be left with the weaker players. Ugly. Let's see. They haven't played yet. Ugly is a tricky player, but Basem is also solid. I know it's like I'm hyping Basem to my, but I mean Basem is Basem, right? Basem is Basem. Like I won't be shocked if he wins this game. This game that the engine believes is completely drawn. I won't be shocked if he wins. We all agree that Basem is a clear favorite here. It's like there's nothing more to think about. Let's see Michael Simpson. Let's see Michael Simpson. He's losing. Damn. I mean, this is a lost game. He can resign here. The king is just going to show that he's just going to show that the king. There's nothing more here. He knows it's over, right? He for sure knows it's over. So how did we get here? Quickly brushing through the game. You know, I always hated these, do you call it semi-tarash, whatchamacallit pawn structures? But somebody explained it to me as the point of this is to determine who has the pass pawn, who has the isolated queen's pawn. Indeed, but the way things look, it seems these tournaments. Okay, no, no, sorry, wrong person. It seems he's more or less gaining rating. A draw loses him a lot more points than he's gained so far, but yeah, he rarely ever seems to draw. But yeah, your point is correct, right? Because he's played 6 games and gained 7 rating, and 1 draw is -4. This is like Magnus playing a tournament, winning points, and then drawing against an FM and then just losing all the points he gained in 2 tournaments. You know? But I'm sure he's just being patriotic with this one. If he draws this game, he's going to lose every point he's gained, though. But I don't expect him to lose this. I don't expect him to draw this. I expect him to outplay his opponent in the end game. Wait, what the heck? Wait, what? He took with the pawn. He didn't take back. My line was he taking back. But here we have queen to e8 and then e5. Giving up the pawn in an interesting way. So I think he tries to answer my question here, if you recall. How do you take advantage of the weakness you are creating on the f file, right? How do you take advantage of that weakness? And he answers it in this way. Pawn push, pawn takes, and then pawn push, right? So even though black has been able to, white allowed it, but even though the pawns here has been cleared and another barricade has been created here, though this one is easier to clear with this move, right? What are we going to do here? You would want to go like pawn push with knight jumps in here, but I don't know how good that is. Oh yeah, so c6 is what we mentioned, and then e4. Yeah, white is looking good here, but because it's Bilal, I'm assuming that it's going to say black is better. It's equal. It's equal. It's equal. But personally, if you ask me who I take white here. I actually take white here. If white can solve this issue, then white may just be okay. First of all, let me iterate that it's not an easy thing for white to. Sorry, it's not easy for black to take advantage of the weaknesses in white's position. So yeah. And it doesn't look like white is even planning on taking. So we get like rook here with ideas of taking and then developing the rook on this one, if possible. If this knight wants to do something with its life, it has to come here. But this knight is completely bad. Right now, these 2 pieces are very bad. The bishop and the knight for black. And white, I think white's worst piece is this. The knight's also not doing anything, but after like 2 moves, it's fine. Problem is you can't play this move because it just traps the bishop. So maybe you have to go like bishop takes first before the knight jumps in here. But in my opinion, white is more active than black, though the engine prefers black. Go with c4 knight f6 g3. Catalan territory. g6, bishop to g2, g5, c takes d5, knight takes d5, queen b3, c6, knight c3, knight b6, knight f3, bishop to g6, g4, castles kingside, bishop to e6, queen to c2, knight 8 d8, and then rook to d1. So in the way, with the way white is playing this, we are expecting a move like e4 with d5. The only reason why, if I were white, I wouldn't go for this whole idea is I help my opponent activate his knight. So one of the things you could do is to maybe just play e4, wait for opponent to make a concrete move, and then you go like this, right? But this move would be very nice if your opponent would like allow it in a sense. I don't even know what to do here for white, but let's just make this move, right? Very active position here for white. Very active position for white. Oh, and by the way, this evening Ghana is going to be playing against Angola. I'll be playing, so I'll have to stop the stream like maybe I'll stream for 2 hours. It's at 7:30. I've been out the whole day. I just came back, so I'll stream for 2 hours and I'll take a break. I'll go to sleep. When I wake up, I will stream my games. It's going to be played on Lichess, so I'll stream my games. If you're interested, you can always drop by. Just so that you're notified about it. You can you can subscribe if you're on YouTube or follow if you're on Twitch. So that you can also see me play, right? If you are interested in seeing who this guy is and whether you would like to keep watching him, right? Yeah. There's an 11-year that's currently 3-6 in this tournament. Can we check his game? Do you know him by name? I'm not well abreast with all the players. It's a few I know and interacted with. Samid Mohammed. Samid. Same. Okay, Abdul Rahman. He's 11 and an IM. Whoa. Oh, Hassel. Hassel is another player's favorite. Okay, let's see. We have a Sicilian again. Let's watch from his perspective. Okay, A6. A6 is woof. Already we have an interesting one. You know, you learn one Sicilian, all the Sicilian looks the same. I know the ideas are not the same, the move orders are different and all that, but they all look the same in some way. Yeah. So this opening would definitely look very scary if you are playing as black, because it's like white has an immediate attack on your position. You can even like bring the rook here. F4 is in the game, F5, and in some positions you can even double the rooks here if you want to, and go F4, F5, weaken your opponent's structure, bring the queen in here and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's a very scary position if you are playing as black. But as white, you want to counter attack. Ideally, you either want to push your own ideas or you want to counter attack your own ideas, right? And what I've been taught is that if your opponent's attacking on one side of the board, you want to counter in the center. Though here, that principle doesn't seem to work. You could try it. So where do we stop? Queen d4, castles, f4, b4. So that's what he's going for. He goes for his own idea first. And I think his point is, if you take, I'm not going to take with my bishop, I'm going to take with my knight. Because my knight has the ability to reduce your offensive pieces on this position. Again, knight jumps in here, bishop can jump back. Okay, but that allows takes here and then you're attacking the other bishop. So maybe you don't want to take here. You want to let your opponent lead the charge. He instead goes knight back, which is completely fine as well, preventing your opponent from getting to the active position. We may see a5. It all depends on what he wants, right? We may see a5. Again, if he takes here. Give me a second. Why does breaking in the center not work? Yeah, I just gave a simple answer. I wasn't looking beyond that. I was talking about the fact that like he could close the position, and closing the position makes his idea work. But yeah, I mean, you're correct. He can't just do that, right? He can't just close the center. So it will work. It will work. It will work. It will work. You still do, yeah. You still weaken your opponents as well. But oh, I don't know. Opening this up may be an issue. Sometimes when I'm analyzing position, I'm just speaking in ideas, not complete positions. So yeah, his point is this, right? It's hanging. Wait, can't we do this in that case? That way you can't take. I think you just play here, right? And it's completely fine. Yeah, I think you just play that and it's completely fine. Wait, what about here? Let's say he takes here. It's getting fascinating, isn't it? Again, if I miss something in that line, you can always point it out. But right? Let's take a look at that line again, right? Because the point is, if rook comes in here and you take, right? And this exists. That's the problem. So after this, you'd have to hide away. But then your opponent has a very nice idea of ignoring you. And if you do oblige to take in, he has this move with check. Bishop takes pawn takes, threatening checkmate. You can play this move for sure, but I'm trying to see if the resulting position is much better. Like, is it really going to be worth it to allow this? What does the engine think? It thinks black is better. Of course, I'm not playing the best move, but who knows? So what was the engine's thought here? After f4, b4, b4 is actually the best move according to the engine. So why doesn't this work? Let's look at it from an engine's perspective. E takes d5, e takes d5, rook a d1. So the same idea that we are thinking about. d4, bishop to e4. Wait, by following the engine stop moves, we enter into a drawn position. Anyways, this is why we hate the engine. Yeah, looking at it, it doesn't look good for black after opening the center anyway. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Let me take this. Okay. The drawn position, but I'd rather be white for sure. The attacks just seem to flow, right? The attacks just seem to flow for white. But let's see how he does it. I'm actually interested in seeing how black actually goes about the position. So wait, after the knight evaded, he goes a4. Interesting. He goes b takes. I would have just simply played this. Again, this is my preference. It doesn't mean it's the best move. Despite the engine supports everything that white is doing. I'm just speaking from how I like to see my games, right? And both moves are not completely bad, right? A5 is not as bad. It's not even bad in any way. Like 0.1, 0.2 is not a big deal, right? It's not a big deal. So a takes b5, and queen comes in. Interesting. I can't play like this. I can't play like this. The reason is the reason is black is saying, feel free to attack me. Nothing is going to work. And that's what's scary for me about the position. Like, why? I mean, it takes experience in the position to know that there's nothing there. Because sometimes when I'm attacked in my openings, I know that there's nothing there, right? So for me, it looks scary. So many great young Egyptian players. It looks like Bassem is having an effect like Vichy had India. Indeed, 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 indeed. I haven't really followed Bassem, like the way I think we all follow the super GMs of the world. But indeed, I think quite a number of like African players look up to him. Right, he's like a standard for all African players, and I think he has definitely inspired a generation. And I mean, there's nothing more to say here. Just look at the standings, right? Just look at the standings. Yeah, really kicking it. Where was I? Where was I? But India is really killing it. India is like India's current chess scene is crazy. I'd have to go and remember. I don't recall. The whole time of the Olympiad, I was focused on Ghana. But it's um quickly checking. Give me a second. Guys, welcome to the stream. Again, sorry I haven't streamed for the past 2 days. So many things were going on, but I'm back. We are going to cover this tournament. And like I said, they were 39th. Yeah. I mean, that's big. In fact, that's actually quite big. If you consider like an African country, that's actually quite big. So I will be streaming for 2 hours or an hour and a half, and then I will take a break. But I'll come back around 7:30. It's 3:41 right now. I'll come back around 7:30 to play in a tournament. I'm in a team with I'm in a Ghanaian team, and we're playing against Angola. If you're interested in watching that, remember to like. Why do I keep saying like I'm recording a YouTube video? Remember to subscribe or to follow. If you're on Twitch, follow. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. The second African nation is South Africa. Yeah, South Africa is also very good. I only know of Egypt and South Africa when it comes to chess. I don't know. Nigeria is also there. Nigeria is also there. Nigeria is also quite good. Nigeria is also quite good in the chess scene. Okay, so we're still trying to figure out what happens after Queen 25. Definitely not Bishop takes A3. That's just not going to work. Nigeria is 97. I'm going to have to give you all my ratings across board because my ratings are bad. So I'm 1800 on chess.com, rapid, and I'm no longer 2000. I'm 1900 on Lichess rapid. But my FIDE rating is 1667. Boy. I mean, they're not bad. And the thing about Nigeria is that Nigeria even came, I think, after day one. They didn't play the full tournament. Either they didn't play 2 rounds or they didn't play a full day or something like that. I forget. But Nigeria was late. And with that, they even got like one, like they got into the top 100, where someone like Ghana was not even in the top 100, right? Yeah. Hey, thanks, DPS. I appreciate it. My hope this year is to boost my rating to match my like either my FIDE or either my chess.com or my preferably my Lichess rating, but it's unlikely because of like the rating situation in Ghana. So I hope to get to at least 1700 or 1800 by the close of this year. Unfortunately, I don't have the liberty to be playing tournaments, so I mostly play 1 tournament a year, but I'm going to play 2 tournaments this year. And I mean, some would recommend playing the easier tournaments, you know, play the easier tournaments, but I only play the hard ones. I play the Nationals and the President's Cup. Anyways, so we have knight g3 here. Yeah, so I think the attack is about to explode. I think the attack is about to explode. I'm expecting to see f5 at some point. Definitely. Thank you. I do appreciate that, DPS. I do appreciate that. At least want to leave with a good note, right? Want to leave with a good note. The fact that I've started this, I don't want to just start it and I just leave as not strong in any way, shape, or form. So I do appreciate that. Don't worry, you'll be able to catch everything. I make sure anytime I play in an OTB tournament, I make a video on it. So you get to know my mindset, my emotions, how I played everything. My prep, everything. Knight g3. I'm looking at this move, trying to prompt here. And this weakness would be very nice. Like white would be very happy to have this weakness. So I still don't know what. What about this? I mean, I do want that. I want to weaken your attack. So this is just a good idea. One issue is gone, right? One dark squared issue is gone. You could go this way. But I thought it was saying white should get to this thing. But I mean, if you play push here, I don't think it works. Like, let's just make a random move for black here. Now I don't think this move is that good of an idea because of this. So, and here's the thing, the engine is like, oh, it's a completely drawn position, but I think everybody has their preference, right? I prefer white here, despite the engine saying that it's drawn. Again, we see the drawish options when you start seeing the forced trades. But beyond that, I still think that white has potential. Black may be able to fit it out, but it's all good. It's all good. When you prep this as black, are you looking for a draw? No. I don't think anybody who plays the Sicilian is even looking for a draw in the first place, right? To play a Sicilian, I don't think you're looking for a draw. Sicilian is not, to my understanding, it's not a drawish opener. I don't really know much about this variation, but I do play, for example, this kind of line. I do play this kind of line in the Queen's Gambit declined. I prefer that line. Let me kind of explain what I'm talking about. Hey, what's up, Skite? Namaste. Good to see you as well. Sorry, d4, d5, yeah. Knight. Is it knight? No, it's not knight. Is it knight I'm looking for? I think it's this. I'm trying to figure out the line I'm looking for. This. Then you play a6 here, right? And let's just say your opponent plays takes. Let's say your opponent plays this, and then okay, let's play this move. I'm trying to get the position. Let's say they develop the bishop. You go takes, I go takes, and I play here. Bishop goes back, and then here. This is one of the positions I play. So knowing this kind of strategy with this whole c4, which is like, if you can see the similarities between this and the Sicilian that he's playing, this is not something you play for a draw. It's the whole thing I'm trying to say. Or is it just about frustrating your opponent into thinking he has an attack and wasting all his time and then realizes he has nothing? True. Okay, what we can do to try and figure this whole thing out is look at the end result of the game, right? So let's say that the attack doesn't succeed and we trade off everything off the board and it's just left with kings and pawns. Does it look like white has any chance? If you want me to coach you, I do offer coaching services, but if it's not like you want to have a coach, if it's not that you want to have a coach but you just want tips, you want advice, I would recommend that you just hop in the stream, ask questions, right? But if you want me to actually coach you, then you just have to send me a message on this email and we'll discuss the terms and then I can coach you. I give the range of if you are from 900 to 1200, I can coach you. I'm actually looking more into that level. Lila, welcome, 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 welcome. Magnus played this position before, the Sicilian position or the one I was showing, because I did learn it from the former national champion, the former Ghana national champion. But then I did see some positions that Magnus played, so I don't know if that's what you're referring to. Or was it Magnus? Or was someone? Ah. But yeah, so sorry, what was I saying? The Sicilian, yeah. What am I saying? So Arba, the end game doesn't look promising. The end game doesn't look promising for both sides, right? If anything, black has a better structure than white. But again, beyond that structure, I don't see how black creates any play. I mean, these are the two weak points for white. I don't see how black makes any difference with it, but maybe there's something, right? So end game wise, it looks just drawish to me. I mean, second thing too is that black is the experienced player, and experienced players will always trounce like beginner players or weaker players in the end game, even if it's a drawn end game. The most difficult thing to do is to draw a drawn end game against a strong player. SMK Chess, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. DPS, did Magnus win the game you're speaking about? Or you're just saying that he plays this line quite often? Okay, so we are still here in knight g3. We've just been looking at this knight g3 move and trying to see what's going on here. What we are realizing is that even though it looks like white has a very strong attack, black has many ways of mitigating that whole attack, right? And that's what we are kind of looking at. That's what we'll be looking at for some time now. How many years have I been playing chess? I've been playing chess. I'm about to forget. Okay, so I started playing chess seriously in 2015. That's when I was in university. I played seriously until I finished in 2019. I took a break, came back in 2021, COVID time, but when I came back, I haven't been training as hard as I have been when I was in school. So I kind of break the time down. So 2015, 2019, 2021. I mean, I would say like 7-8 years. Against Bassem. Interesting. Interesting. So let's say 7-8 years. I'm talking about like when I was playing, I was actually serious with what I was doing and I was learning and all that kind of stuff. I'll say 7-8 years. But the hardest I've ever studied chess is in those. It's the period I was in university, 2015 to 2019. I mean, if you want to know how far I went, I was the captain of my hostel. I don't know if that's the name you guys use, but for my hostel, I was the captain of the team. I managed to help our team win. I mean, it's not nice, but we won at least 4th and 5th. I mean, the situation surrounding it is why I say it with pride, because when I became the captain, there was no chess team. So I basically had to raise people who didn't know how to play chess, sent them to the inter-house chess competition and won 4th and 5th. I was also the vice president of my college's school team, and I've played in very high tournaments in Ghana. What opening Italian? What do I do outside of chess for a living? Chess is what I do for a living. Yeah, so that as a 1000 player, you should play the Italian. It's very simple. Yeah, it's very simple, and the plans are very easy to come by. Your positions are very stable, very balanced. There's no strange complications. It's a very straightforward opening that gives you a very good foundation or framework or understanding of chess. Once you get comfortable with e4, then you can branch out to other things, right? But if you are starting, I'll say from like 900 till you are 1400, keep playing e4. Just keep playing e4. It was something I learned the hard way, because when I started chess, I was learning all the funny. I learned the rats, I learned the rat, I learned the hedgehog, King's Indian defense. I was playing so many funny openings that are high level, and it wasn't helping me much until a friend I met in school was like, bro, you are actually hurting your growth. Play e4, play only the Italian, and once you reach 1400, you can switch your opening. And that's what I did. They helped me. Okay. We have king to h8. Huh. Wait, doesn't that give... I mean, I'm critiquing the 2100. But do you really want... Why would you want to do this move? Is he... I can't figure out why you want to play this move. I thought this move is what you just want to... Like, I thought this move is just like what you're looking for. Spitting facts, hey, thanks. This is like inviting the attack. I learned a lot really early. Oh, I mean, I had no coach, right? I'm a self-taught chess player. If I had any coaching, when I started watching John Bartholomew and Ginger GM, right? And I just listened to what they said, and I built my chess understanding based on what they said. So anytime you hear me saying something, it's something that if you watch their videos, you hear. Right? Those are the things, whatever they said is what I always reiterate. And I realize that the more I understand chess, the more they are correct, right? This seems to... I mean, you can still play this move in this position, but I don't know if it's as good, right? Because... Oh, it's still with the check, okay. But could you... I did hit myself. It really did hit me. Welcome to the stream. I did hit myself. I knew so much, but yet I understood little. That was my plight in chess. I knew so much, and yet I understood little. I want to take engine support here. E5. Like, who thinks of who thinks of E5? I get E5 with this, but mostly we think about breaking open the position. Daniel Nardisi speedrun helped me so much. Was it his rapid speedrun? I don't watch the Blitz speedrun. I don't really enjoy watching Blitz. Yemen, not that I know of. Sky, not that I know of. There are not really many grandmasters here now. Recently, I started watching Daniel Nardisi because I wanted a more grandmaster-esque approach to understanding chess positions, because he often gives these Russian school tips, which is what I was interested in. E5 is a very good move. Like, I get it, but I'm like, ideally, what you think about is how can I make this better? And like, this move is what's opening up the position for you, if you can understand that. Right? Yeah. Exactly. Arba, what you guys are saying is actually the case, right? Because now, if you try and push, I do capture en passant. If you play pawn push, I can still open up the position if I want it, right? But it's just like, maybe like I'm using a beginner mindset here, but this looks like it opens. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, right? Because the one that actually attacks the position is this bishop, right? Wait, what? Wait. Okay, no problem. Guys, guess what? I thought E5 was what was played. Okay, no, E5 was the engine's move. Yeah, so like I said, most people would actually look at this, right? I think this is how most players would think. It's when you see E5 that it becomes very apparent why it's good. Chess fundamentals, yes. I'm not from Yemen, I'm from Ghana. And there's no grandmaster in Ghana. Igor Smirnov taught me chess fundamentals. Nice. I learned chess fundamentals from Danny Rench, funny enough. Before I discovered, not before, I actually knew, but I never... Reading chess books is annoying, especially when I didn't have a laptop at the time, so I had to use whatchamacallit, the board. And you know how annoying chess books are. You arrange the position, you make moves, and they send you back, and it's like it's so annoying. Let's just say it's so annoying. Yeah. I think recently we are coming back in the football scene, but we took a break from good football, if I may say so. Yeah, so F5 is I think what most people would play, but I think maybe someone on the level of Samuel would have maybe played E5. But yeah, it's something I think is very easy to miss. But when you look at E5, it makes more sense. You really want to open this bishop than this bishop. This bishop is not really doing anything, right? This bishop is not really doing anything. I get you. I get you. But again, if you speak about football, I'm very bad. I stopped watching football after Germany 2006. After Ghana played in Germany 2006, that was the last time I ever watched any kind of football. Because my heart was in that tournament. And look, they put my heart on the roller coaster. I just said, from that point, I said, nah. I mean. So F5. So how do we counter F5? How do we counter F5? How do we counter F5? We can still go here. 2006 is your first memory of Ghana. That's when we actually, I think that's when we, I don't remember the score line. I don't. I think that's when Ghana actually made its name in the headlines, like in terms of football. That's, I mean, I don't think that's when, again, I'm speaking from my own experience, but I think that's when people started noticing Ghana, Germany 2006. I don't recall if it was 3-0, but I know we did beat them. But that was the last one I ever watched. Last ever one I watched. How do we deal with F5? I mean, is this okay? Is bishop to F6 just okay? If you take, you are just helping your opponent, right? I don't know. I keep supporting white. I did, bro. I did. Because I was forced to see it by my friends. I was forced to see it. I was forced to see it by my friends. I just didn't want to watch. But eventually you get to see it. You're still mad about that. Look, he had to work hard to win his name back. Like Asamoah Gyan had to work hard to win his name back after that missed penalty. Like at the point, everybody was insulting him. He really worked his way back. I'm telling you. Oh boy. Yeah. So, oh, he did play bishop to c5. Yeah, this is more forcing than this. Yeah. So what I was saying is, Black has some potential energy, right? Black has some interesting potential energy here. Black has some interesting potential energy here. Very interesting potential energy here. If this bishop can become open and we can get some lines in, who knows? Maybe the counter attack will come from black. Then again, I won't be shocked if this game ends up in a draw. Okay. We've looked at this game for quite a bit. Is anybody interested in the women's section? We've not looked at all the games here, so if you have a game, fine. But if anyone is interested in the women's section, we can just take a quick look over there and then we'll come back. In the meantime, I'm going to look for... he's playing as black. This guy plays... Okay. Let's see Koga Nicholas and see how he's doing. Just let me know if you want to take a quick dive to the female section. If not, we'll just go back to Basem's game and see how the games are going. C4, C6, we have a Slav, exchange Slav. Already we know we are entering a brawn game. This is all boring. Bishop to F5. You want Basem's game? Okay, so we are going to jump there quickly. We have a sort of Jobava landing. But this is not a Jobava landing. Anyways. He's looking for D takes D5. D takes C4 D5. Interesting. Check. He didn't even take with the knight. The queen just take it. What? And look at the engine probably going to agree with the bad moves of white and say white is better here. Okay. It doesn't say white is better here. It says the position is equal, like dead drawn. That's what it's saying. Can you imagine that? Oh boy, I hate watching advanced players play. They make you feel so bad. They break every chess principle in the book. They break every chess principle in the book. Okay, so the last time we saw Bassem's game, it looked like it was going to become a draw. After knight takes, we had b5. And now our opponent has played bishop to b6. And Bassem has spent what? He spent 30 minutes after bishop to b6. He spent 30 minutes after bishop to b6. Bro, what are you seeing? What is in this position? Nah, let's see if the engine supports him. The engine says it's dead drawn. What is he looking for? In the women's section, there's a Tunisian 14-year-old that is currently scoring 3.5 out of 6. Hit me up with the name and we'll jump there after looking at this position briefly, because we definitely don't know what's going on. He's really calculated. Is he trying to calculate this? Because it gives him this. Again, this might not be the best because this guy is hanging. But like, is this something that we can consider? I don't know. He's seen mate in 25. You know, I think he's looked at the position and he's realized it's a draw. And he's like, I can't. Look. Arba mentioned this. Arba mentioned this, right? Look at Bassem, right? He's won every single game and just drawn one. And in all the games he's won, he's only gained 7 points, right? And with the draw, he got a -4. So basically, if he draws this game, he's losing rating points at the end of this tournament. Isn't it sad? Like, isn't it sad? He's regretting his life choices. Yeah, because there's almost no life in this game. There's almost no life in this game. If you don't want to complicate things, you have to go takes, which is possibly going to make it rook takes. If your opponent plays pawn takes, then you are happy. But then this is what we are expecting to get, and yeah. I don't know how Bassem is going to make anything out of this specific pawn structure. Divok, welcome to the stream. Welcome. The pawns are not stable enough for me to say that white has any chance of winning this. But again, Bassem is Bassem. That's my defense for anything he does. It's like Magnus is Magnus, right? Okay, let's take a gander. Did you give me the name? She's at 3.5. Let me see who's at 3.5. Jessie February is playing? Oh, that's actually interesting. If anybody is on from her channel, just tell her I say hi. I'm very shy in real life, so I actually sat beside her during the AICC last year, 2024. I was actually sitting beside her on the dinner table, but I just couldn't say hi, right? I just couldn't say hi. I do talk in her chat, but I've never said hi. I hope one day I can collab with her or something. I'm very shy in real life. If you approach me in real life, you think I don't like you. I simply just can't communicate. I'm very introverted. We are looking for Rejeb Nadine. Nice. We have another Sicilian. I'm getting tired of seeing Sicilians. To be frank, I'm just tired of seeing Sicilians. I'm just tired of the Sicilians. B3. Knight c6, bishop b2, d6. Black is playing like a knight off. Okay. At this point, I don't know what's going on, so we just keep quiet. Lichess, yes, lichess. Lichess. Do we play like a stone wall? Castles. H3, simple preventative move. Knight wants to jump into this square. You could play g4, but always prepare for that. G3, sorry. Knight jumps in. Point being, if you play pawn push, you have to deal with this. I mean, yes, but I just like understand that I hate the Sicilian. I just hate it. It's annoying. Again, I've mentioned I hate tactical players, and every tactical player I know plays the Sicilian, so I hate them. It's one of the reasons I left E4. I got tired of seeing C5. Oh boy. F4, interesting. King hides away, queen comes in, knight develops. So this is a close position. Knights are better than bishops. Bishop takes knight. That's a very good decision, right? You don't want your opponent to have very good knights. Now he opens up the center. So now black cannot play pawn push, but black has options. Okay. What do we do here? Knight jumps back. Huh. Like, do we really want to leave that knight over there? Is my question. Like, couldn't we just like play this? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's done. That's done. Oh wait, we had knight. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to get d5. Black is actually, yeah, black is just fine. However, black is just going to win this. I just think black is going to win this. I don't see how white does anything. You can decide not to take and do something else. I don't know what that would be, but like, yeah, I think black is just dominating here. So yeah, maybe the Sicilian is what you play against the lower rated players. I don't know. What I do against the lower rated players is that I just send them to positions that they can't play. Complicate the position a bit. They have no idea what's going on. Every piece is hanging everywhere. There's a tactic every 2 moves. They can't handle that. Or you make the game so positional where if you don't understand outposts, if you don't understand pass pawns, if you don't understand pawn islands, you just mess up. Let me just look briefly at how Jesse February is doing. Please don't tune off. Let's briefly look at how Jesse February is doing, and we'll go back to the open section. Jesse not playing DeLonzo. This has to be prep. It could also be this is how the opening is played, but I'll just chalk this up as prep because I don't think you would play this on a normal day. I don't think anybody would play this on a normal day. Like the position just looks terrible for black. I don't know how else to say it. The position just looks terrible for black. Again, then you says plus 0. What is black doing here? Right? Black is so cooped up. Black is so cooped up. If black wants to make a difference, black has to try and go like c5. I don't know how you do that. Oh, Kojoka, I support Joseph February. Nice. Same here. Those he streams late at night when I want to sleep. Oh, by the way, Kojoka, are you playing in the Ghana versus Angola today? Because I am. I'm gonna have to do some like puzzles and everything. I have to warm up, recheck my openings, and see how I mean, I don't want to lose as points for sure. Bilal's game was crazy, right? I need to get some water or some coffee. Would you guys be offended if I go and get a cup of coffee? Where did we stop? Sorry. Where did we stop? Yeah, he played c6. Black takes. This evening on Lichess. I don't know. Let me show you. The I don't know if you can see it. It's at 7:30. Let me be sure. Oh, it's at 8:30. I have an extra hour. Oh, thank you. God. Oh, thank God. I was told it was 7:30, but it's on Lichess. Speak to Maxwell about it. Okay, so rook comes in, queen hides, queen comes in. So what are the advantages here? Oh, there's more moves to play. Okay, let's just see what happens. I was about to say that I would lose my bishop here. I was literally about to say that I would lose my bishop here. My bishop doesn't seem good. Oh, isn't that too greedy? Sorry. Isn't that too greedy? I'm thinking about castling or something. Wait, castling is actually dangerous because you lose the knight. No, you don't lose the knight. You can castle. A4. He didn't play A4. Okay. Rook to C7. I guess his plan is rook to C7. Engine says his plan is backfiring, but again, like I said, I felt this was too greedy. I felt this was too greedy. Possibly the best response is this, but I guess he didn't want to allow these moves. But wait, doesn't this just give you b4, b5? So why wouldn't you go for this? Definitely, we can. What? Yes, why wouldn't he go for that move? Like, what was deterring him against that move? Yeah, because I don't see anything bad with allowing bishop takes, right? If that's what you didn't want to allow, but maybe there's something else. So let me just look. But this move doesn't make any sense here because the queen is hanging. Queen d6. Sorry, queen d6. And now we can castle inside. Bishop takes c6. Bishop takes f6. G takes f6. Queen to g3 check. King to h7. And then we finally take here. Oh, don't you just love to hit the engine? Again, if a human being doesn't see it, they are not going to play. Yeah, so white was okay until white played this. This is not really greedy, but the response is bad. And that's what's leading into this bad position. If you're ambitious, you play this, but it doesn't work. It goes on. Tunisia. Do I remember my Tunisian flag? I don't. Is it new? That's Kenya. Yes, I know. African doesn't know African flags. Bite me. Bite me. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it all along. Let's start with Amudini. Amduni. That's Amudini. Yeah. Oh boy. Wait, it seems like the chat is on par with me now. It seems like the chat is on par with me now. I'm loving this new laptop. it's slightly better than my old one. Slightly better than my old. No, it's not a laptop I want, but it's slightly better. It seems like you guys like I'm maybe 3 seconds, unlike my previous laptop, which was like 15 seconds. That was like too far back. Okay, d4 knight f6. Let's go fight, right? Trampowski, why didn't you like? Is it so hard to just do this? I know you love Gotham chess, but is it so big a deal to play this? Like, come on, is it so big a deal to play that? Uh-huh. And that's what you want to do. Same idea with the London system. We are having another attacking game here. You don't like Gotham chess? Really? Verite! La Verite, what's up? Is it because of, like, I mean, everybody has their preference, right? Because personally, I don't like chess bras, except when Aman is doing his climbing videos. Oh, he appeals more to his generation. He's very good at appealing to the current generation of kids and chess players, right? He has figured them out. I don't think he'll be offended if I say this, because I think he sees it himself, right? If you are a very serious chess player who is looking for growth, like you really want to reach a certain height, not like a casual chess player, you want to be like a professional chess player, you want to play proper professional level chess, he's not the channel you go to. He appeals to the masses, like people who just get to 1400 and they're okay with their lives. That's what he appeals to, right? He makes chess a laid back endeavor, right? But the others make you see chess for what it is, which is like mental torture, right? Because they give you, like you look at Aganmato, just one move, he can give you 10 variations of why that move was good or bad, right? That's advanced chess players, those who really want to improve in chess. Gotham chess, when you watch his videos, you realize that he skims over so many things. Like, for example, if you watch live coverage of chess events, you can see that grandmasters are going crazy over a move, right? And they spend minutes analyzing that move. When you're watching Gotham Chess Recap, you just pass it by that move. You just glosses over it, right? I like Eric Rosen because of the London system, but I don't really watch him. For me, it's John Bartholomew and Ginger GM. True, I watch them the least. Mostly I watch Gotham Chess to learn. I'm trying to boost this channel. I'm not like him naturally, so I find it difficult to replicate his style. King Crusher, I know him, but I don't watch him. Ginger GM, I like. Chess Brass, I watch their climbing series. Naroditsky, I recently started watching him. Yeah, I know King Crusher on YouTube. Ginger GM really pushed me to another level with, the way he teaches chess. I used to learn chess like laws, right? But Ginger GM introduced me to the fact that you should get used to the ideas. So a lot of times when I'm analyzing or when I'm doing these streams, you realize that I may not be talking about what is exactly happening on the board. Like, I'm saying things that do not exist on the board. If you've ever noticed my analysis, I'm sure you see them, you're like, what he's talking about doesn't make any sense. I'm looking at ideas, right? There's a possibility of an idea happening, and I'm looking at that possibility, even though it doesn't exist in this moment. That's how I see chess. Ginger GM is good, yeah, he's good. It depends on what you're looking for. I mean, we can't all agree on the same thing, on who is somebody you should follow, right? So let me reiterate this. The clouds are very thick and it's getting worse. The weather is even changing at this point. Usually when it rains, usually when it rains, they switch off the lights. So if as I'm streaming, I suddenly go off without me saying I'm ending stream, then it's because it started raining. Just to keep you guys in the loop. You are looking for funny people and you don't like Gotham? I mean, if you watch Ginger GM, you've heard me use his statements a lot on pre. I don't know if you heard me say. He always says that on pre. I always say that. Yeah. Okay. Back to the chess. Knight h4. We know what's happening next. First, like something. Thank you. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Nice heads up. Yeah. And if you haven't, let's follow something. Let's hit the like. If you haven't also, you can follow the stream. I really want to get to 1,000 by the end of this month. Like I really do want to get 1,000 by the end. It's a goal. A serious goal this month. To the point I even made a video on pork champs. Can you imagine that? I mean, I do love Wolfie. I mean, I was watching his video before the stream. If you want to see, I was literally watching his video before the stream. So I do love Wolfie. But mostly I like try to stay away of outside of the team. But yeah. yes. I think Ben Feingold is funnier than Gotham Chess. I think he's funnier than Gotham Chess. Gotham Chess appeals to the modern generation. They are Gen Z slang and all that. Okay, so how do we continue the attack here? White would for sure love to see this move, and everybody knows why, because the queen is lost. So that move is off the table. Any pawn push just creates a hook, and we don't want to give our opponent a hook. Rather, we want to lock the position. So what do we do? Like this knight would be very good. Like, okay, if he wants to do anything, it would have to be like h3. But again, that's a hook. And then you want to get your knight to this square. This is a very good square. This is where you want your knight to be as white. But I know the saying, knight on f8 can't be mate. Yeah, I do like black here. I'm wondering how white is going to counter this whole position. Kind of what I'm looking at. Don't forget again, knight on f8 can't be mate. Or do we just play this anticipating this so that we can lock the position? I feel like if you do that, your opponent might do something else. I don't know if this is good, but we've seen this whole idea being developed before with Ambush. I don't think that works, but yeah. Okay. Can we bring, you know, the rook just becomes a liability, right? Because everything is done with tempo. I don't think you want to do that. The knights on the rim are dim. Not in this case. This is one of those exceptions of chess, right? The knights on the rim are dim, except I was teaching my student chess yesterday, and I was teaching a concept, and I said this, like I said something, and when I was giving her practical examples, I just kept breaking the rules. It's like, why do you guys say one thing and do the other? It's chess. There's nothing more inconsistent than a chess rule. Double pawns are bad, except knights are better in close positions, except two rooks are better than the queen, except trade bishops, trade knights for bishops, except it's like there's always some exception somewhere, and it's so annoying. That's chess for you. You have to learn what the rules, when to break the rules, rather than knowing the rules. Because if you become a stickler for the rules, sometimes you just lose. I'm thinking about how the attack is going to continue. It's white move. Again, if I was white, my idea would be trying to get here, but the way to do it doesn't help because I think the moment you do this, this is what's going to be played. I think that's just straightforward what your opponent is going to do, right? And maybe you can, maybe this is not bad, but who knows? Yeah, aiming for pawn push and this. This happens all the time. This happens all the time to me. Okay. When I play chess, one of my biggest problems is that I calculate one line for half the time of my clock. Don't see anything calculated. I calculate in that time, don't find anything calculated. Then play something I haven't calculated that looks obvious. But it's actually a blinder or weakening move. The way to work on that is to, what I would say is limit yourself. Like don't overcalculate. Sometimes when I think I have to think in a position and I'm thinking too much, I just tell myself that okay, I just have to make a decision in like the next minute. So in that minute, I'm just going to look at the 3-4 options and just conclude on one. Something like that. Or when I see a position, I give myself time minutes whenever I'm playing chess, because I can spend 1 hour on one move. So when I see that the position is tough, I'm like, I'm going to spend 20 minutes. That's how I do my chess. When the position is tough, I look at the position and I'm spending 20 minutes on this move. And I'll be thinking on the board. I'll always be checking the clock to make sure I've not surpassed my time. If I find the move before the time comes, that's completely fine. So I basically give myself limits so that I don't over-exert myself, right? Because one of the things I realize is that you tend to make more mistakes when you calculate for long. My personal experience, right? You calculate about like 5 variations. You calculate each variation to about like 10 moves deep, to the point that you even start messing up the move order in your mind. So by the time you pick a line you want to go for, it's all jumbled up in your head. And though the first move may be correct, your follow-ups are bad, right? So that's kind of like that's how I deal with it. I give myself limits in my calculation. That's how I deal with it. If that will help, that's cool. There's one thing I wish like I would be allowed to do, but I mean, you know, when it's your move or when it's your turn to move, we are not allowed to get off the board. Sometimes I guess they would allow me to get off the board. Uh, what? I've lost my Twitch chat. Wait a second. Let me open it here. Give me a second. Trying to see what Araba was saying. It says that happens to me as well. I calculate something very well, but for some reason when I play it in the wrong order and I hate myself. Yeah. So I guess try and find ways to limit the tendency of that happening. You know? I mean, the longest time control I've ever played is 90 plus 45. 90 plus 30, 90 plus 45. That's the longest time control I've ever played. Over the board, I mean. I mean, that's the longest time control. I was over the board. Okay, time to ask for help from our friend here. Look, like, I'm not interested in all this nonsense. I'm not interested in all this nonsense. I briefly looked at this move, but I was like, why would you even look there? And in case you're wondering why I'm pissed off, this is the engine's best move. I looked at it briefly and I was like, okay, fine. You save the bishop from taking, you save the pawn from the attack of the bishop, and maybe you are going to double your opponent's pawn on this side of the board. But I'm like, there's so much happening here. Why would you just ignore it and come here? I'm sure the engine believes that this attack is not going to work. That's how the engine evaluates the position. But I'm like, what? Like what? Like if I just, oh my god. If I was in this game and my opponent played a5, I'd call an arbiter. Like bro, did you not see what's happening here? These guys are just crazy. Back to Bassem. Bro has created chances. How did he do that? What did he do? Okay, so instead of taking, he plays knight forward. Pawn takes, got a trade of queens and trade of rooks. Then he captured the pawn. He got a free pawn. His opponent took the pawn. He doubled, he forked the rook and the bishop, wins the bishop. Now that the bishop is not on the board, black is much safer, right? Sometimes I say black is much safer. I say black is much safer. White actually has a pass pawn now. It's still a draw. This position is still a draw with best play. Wait, I just noticed something. Okay. He can't take. Wait, doesn't that just mean that he plays f6? I mean, you can still play this move, can't you? Because it's the exact same issue. Am I wrong? It's the exact same issue. So we're just going to be up a pawn, aren't we? Aren't we? Rook b1 is the move I'm looking at. Knight takes d2. Why doesn't this work? Knight to e6. Ah, and your opponent is the only one with the pass pawn. Okay, so yeah, so I'm wrong there. I was thinking that it would. I wasn't looking at the knight jumping back. So this is just a draw. This is just a draw. He has to just accept the draw. This is just a draw. I mean, it's just a draw. This is a dead draw, and I'm sure they know what to do. If Bassem wins this, I'll be shocked. He did manage to find a way to create chances for him. He has played rook to b1. If his opponent gets scared, that's about it. Like any other move is bad, I think. Rook to d5 is also an option. But something like this is just bad. You give your opponent too much chance. Well, I think that's practical ways of playing chess, right? He knows what's happening. Black would be better with the bishop, but eventually he allowed a line in which Bassem was able to trade them off. Is he really going to play this out? He's at 10 minutes. Come on. Now we are coming to the boring fight of what we call opposition and Zugzwang. He can't afford to draw, but I mean, there's nothing more. The game is dead. Oh, he drew. Finally. How many points did he lose? He lost another 4 points. So basically, he's lost 1 point. He gained 7 points, lost 4. For me, I also struggle with them, so I learn them. I'm still learning them. So, Alba, what I do is I Whenever I face an endgame position, I just come and slot it down in the endgame slot. Oh, you can't actually see what I'm highlighting. I slot it down in the endgame slot. Then in my free time, since it's a draw, it's supposed to be a theoretical draw. In my free time, I play that position against the highest level engine, and I'm trying to figure out the draw. That's how I practice it. I've not learned the technique, but that's how I practice it. What game? What game was the attack? I think it was this, right? Yeah. So what happened? Okay, so we got the bishop trade finally, and we got the knight jumps in there. Black is completely fine now. At this point, black is fine. We mentioned that if these moves came into play, black is fine, and black is completely fine now. Because I could just take the bishop. Though the bishop is bad now. Rooting for our future African world champion. I want to beat him so bad. I want to beat him so bad. But it's been a while I've seen him play in international tournaments, like the chess.com type tournament, the GCT and those things. It's been a while I've seen him play in those type of tournaments. My eyes are dropping. I'll be right back. I need to make a cup of coffee. I've been out for a very long time. So let me just make a cup of coffee. I'll come back and I'll continue. Give me, how long will it take? 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. If you have any questions, you can just list out your questions. In the meantime, if you haven't already, please subscribe. If you're on YouTube, just leave a comment. I was here, love the commentary. I hate the fact that you keep talking about other things other than the movies. Like, just leave a comment for the engagement so that it helps me out. And I'll be back in a bit. Just making some coffee. I'll be back. Was it 2 minutes? I hope it was 2 minutes. I hope it was 2 minutes. Getting darker, like it's like a sneeze. The clouds are getting darker, but the rain is not falling. It's literally 4:04, but the place is dark as hell. Not even, it's nowhere near like sundown, but the clouds are dark as hell. It looks evening. Oh, it looks night. It does, right? 10. Got my coffee. I can hang on for a bit more. So where do we leave this at? Okay, so we got this. Okay, now I jump back. It doesn't work now, but like imagine we could get pawn takes, pawn takes. Of course, white is fully aware of it, so he's not going to allow that. Eventually, we might see an attack on the rook, on the bishop. I felt like you should have taken this a long time ago, but who knows? It doesn't work. I don't think this move works. I don't think this works. I don't think it works. If you want to stop this guy from coming in here and still move the knights, I have to do this move, but that's a dangerous move. I think his point of this is that f4 is not off the table. F4 is not off the table. Black is fighting back. That's what I see. After rook g5, black should play rook takes e2. I think you're talking about a position I put on the board. This is what you're talking about. Yeah. And this should be KO, right? That makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. So it may be possible. What I'm thinking is the responses, right? Is it really bad to allow this, like to do this immediately as an intermezzo move, right? Right? I don't know how good or how bad this is. I think here, I mean, you can just take or something. So like, what's the engine's best move here? Knight takes d3? No. h6. I mentioned h5. h6, king g8. That's crazy. Bad intermezzo, knight f2 check. Oh, true, 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 true. I'm not calculating everything. Zach, not today, not today. I'm just covering this tournament, and then even later on today, my country is playing against Angola. Not today. Sorry, I do appreciate you coming by though. He takes. So my line is actually what he's going for. I'm so happy when a 2200 plays the line I'm recommending, right? So guys, officially call me 2200 Philly, right? Like imagine getting Basem's moves up to like 10 moves down the line. We have to give you a trophy, you know? What could be the intermezzo here? There's no intermezzo. The other line is queen takes d3. And I think we all agree that queen to d3 may be okay, but it's not what you want. Not I'm not familiar with the Gleck system, but what I would say is that if they are not like, if it's not a common system and it's not something that they are aware of, it would work. Where the problem is the difference in skill level will show, right? The opening can give you the advantage, but your skill level in the middle game and the end game is what determines whether you win or not. So a lot of times you see that weaker players come prepared against stronger players. They may outsmart them or play some unconventional opening, which catches the masters unawares. But as the game keeps going, they become weaker and the masters become stronger, right? So if it's a decent opening, decent meaning that it's not relying on it's not solely relying on tricks, but it's a solid or it's a grounded opening, you can't play it against them. I don't think, in as much as, for example, some openings are not considered good at high level, I don't think that means that they are unplayable against, like, for example, I played a Scandinavian and it's considered bad at high level, but I've seen Magnus Carlsen checkmating defeating Fabiano Caruana with such an opening, right? So I think every opening is playable, but the problem is because your opponents are much more skilled than you in their understanding of chess positions, in the end, it's always going to give you a worse time as compared to a much more decent opening. That was a long answer. Short answer is yes. After queen takes d3, e takes f. I was looking at this and I wasn't so sure. I looked at this and I was wondering what happens here. There's this, and I wasn't so sure. Do we just bring the knight? I couldn't really put my finger on it. That's why I didn't mention it. At this point, f6 is not that playable, so maybe white should work on getting that playable. So we could consider, for example, like takes, and then, sorry, yeah, takes is what we expect to see, but let's say like queen takes, then we expect, I don't know what black is going to play here. This move doesn't seem right because of this. But I'm trying to just create an idea that white can also aim for this. Try and push it. If it will in any case help. But I'm not so sure. This whole tournament is a Sicilian fest. I'm not happy about it. Where did we leave this game? The what? This is Sicilian, isn't it? I gave up on Sicilians. Yeah, he's the guy you mentioned, Samed. Samed. Bilal, where is he now? Where did we leave this game? Wait, what? Oh, good. Yeah, it's him. He's the one. Look at the dismantling of the position. Sacrifices the knight, activates the rook, activates the queen or places the queen in the center, doubles the rooks, sacrifices the rook, and black is just not doing anything with his life anymore. And Bilal has won. Just look at that. Just look at that dismantling of the position. His opponent missed the tactic, and that was the end of it. Michael Simpson. Oh, we saw him losing. What? Ah, okay. Will you take and give my queen a nice square? Or will you not take and allow my knight to get into this wonderful outpost? The choice is yours. Okay, so officially it's begun drizzling, right? The clouds have been up for a while. So officially it began drizzling. So like I said, if the stream goes off abruptly without me stopping the stream, it's simply because it's raining, right? Funny enough, all this while I've not charged my phone. Oh, this sucks. This really sucks. But stick with me until it happens. It's not always confirmed. They don't always turn it off, but mostly they do. Okay. Yeah, yeah. It's at 8:30 tonight, so I'll play on it. I'll I'll take a break. I'm actually going to end this in like 2 hours. I'll take a break and then I'll come back and stream. I don't know. I spoke to the organizers about it. They didn't speak against me stream, but if I'm streaming and they're against it, then I won't. But the plan is to stream it. So 8:30. That is, it's 4:59 right now. So let's just say 5. In 3 hours from now, sorry, 3.5 hours from now, the tournament will begin. So I will stream it. It stopped. How long did yours happen? But this, it's so annoying. You make moves thinking that you stopped something, only to realize later on that you've not stopped it. And when and it's those moves that you think you stopped that your opponent plays that really throw you off, right? It's like every time you calculate, you're like, oh, the knight can't come in here, right? If the knight wants to do anything, he has to like come here. That's what you be thinking. And all of a sudden, your opponent plays this move, and you're like, come on. Oh wait, there's some moves. Yeah, so knight e4, h5, knight g to e5. Whoa, okay, completely not where I was thinking. And then we have queen to d7. I don't know, the knight is too good, but would you want to trade the knight for the bishop? The knight looks too good to do that, but maybe you would want to do that. The reason I'm looking at that, again, this bishop is bad, which is why I'm not really for it. But the fact that you can get another guy into the position, you keep the knight. It does look beautiful. It's just a consideration. Okay, we move from drizzling to raining. Oh, the should at least wait till my phone reaches like 50%. I get it, but like, why wasn't here the better option? Is it because the bishop can challenge you for the square? Maybe. Move being recommended here before. Just thinking like that. It's funny how white is having the knights invading the king side, and yet the bishops are attacking the queen side. White is winning, but it's going to be very difficult for white to use the advantage from the point of view that I'm seeing it. Khalil, did we ever look at this game? Mhm. Black is putting under pressure right now.
This would we eventually have to close the position down with retreat? That was good. Aha, now the idea is plausible. Interesting. He did take, so we're expecting with D1. Queen to B2, takes, on push. This is the idea I'm looking for. Doesn't seem to work because your opponent can after pawn push just block the. So I don't know. That was the most deceptive rain since the day I was born. I can't believe it stopped raining. Like I wish I could turn my camera so you see how thick the clouds are. I just don't want anyone to see my room. That's why. Oh boy. It's okay losing the pawn. Actually, it's not losing the pawn. How about this? Isn't this good for black? It's not. It's an equal position. Oh boy. Oh boy. So this position is good for black, but the line I'm choosing is not good. That's interesting. Okay, so guys, like I promised, I would stream for 2 hours. I was going to just, when I saw the cloud, I was like, well, let me just stream until the rain forces the lights to go off. But the rain is done, right? And I want to go and take a rest. I'll be back in about 3.5 hours. for the Ghana versus the Angola. If you want to check me out playing, remember to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys.